Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how we can create a pivot table from a given data set. So we have this sample data set which has got 5 columns. The 5 columns are geography, gender, age, tenure, and credit score. In order to create a pivot table, we have to go to insert and click on insert and then click on pivot table. There we need to select the table range or like the where the data is present. So in our case the data is present from column A to column E, and we'll create a pivot table for the entire data set, and then we'll click on a new worksheet. I want to see my pivot table in a new sheet, so and then I will click OK. Now I have been directed to this worksheet area where like we have a pivot table, and then like on the right hand side we have the wizard. So if we go to the right hand side and see the wizard, and then we can see like it has got 5 major areas. The first one is like the list of all the columns that are there in the data set. So in this case like we have 5 columns starting from geography to credit score, and in the bottom like we have 4 areas, one for filter, another for columns, another for rows, and finally like the values. We can change this layout. Like if we go to this gear, we can change the layout. If we click on this one, let's say it will change the layout. If we click on this one, it will change the layout. So depending on your need, like you can change the layout. We'll go back to the default layout. Okay, so now how to use this pivot table, right? Like, so let's say we want to see the average credit score by geography. So how do we do that? Like, so we would need to drag geography to either rows or columns. Then we can see once we drag it, right, like all the unique value that are in that column geography are like listed down here. So in our case, like we have only like the 3 geographical area, like the France, Germany, and Spain. Now to see the credit score, like the average of the credit score, we just need to drag this credit score to values. So by default, like the aggregate function for the credit score is sum. I will show you how we can change it to average, but for the timing, let's keep it as the sum. So now let's say we want to add an additional layer, right? Like we want to see we want to slice the data by geography and gender as well. So we want to see like we want to divide this data by gender as well. So we can do it by dragging gender column either to column or to rows. I will show you. Like let's say we are putting it in columns, but in case like we put it in rows, like it will just create something like this. Like, so either way is fine. So for the sake of this example, I will just move the gender to columns, and then we can see like this cross tabbing of data. Now we have geography and gender. So basically it's giving like the total credit score of people in France by the genders. Then we have like the same for Germany, same for Spain, and then we have like the total values as well. So nowadays like this filter stuff, right, how to use it. Now let's say we want to see this cross tab for only a particular age. What we need to do is like we just need to drag age column to filters. Now we can see there's a area like where we have this age, and then this drop down is there. So what we can do is just we can click on this drop down and select the particular age for which we want to see the cross tabbing. So we can see we can just select 20, let's for this example, and we'll see like the data will be updated. In case like we want to select a group of age, we just need to check this one, like the select multiple items. This will allow you to select like multiple items. So in this case, let's say we do it like 18, 19, and 20. So now like the data set is for this is like the sum of the credit score for people who are from like 18 to 20 years of age, and this is by geography and then by gender. So that's how you can filter the data. I mean like you can So this pivot table, you can add multiple layers as well. So now like we can drag tenure. So we can, if we drag tenure, then we can see I drag tenure to columns. Now we can see like we have added an additional slice here as well. We can change the order as well, like we can move tenure above gender, that we can do as well. Now like the tenure is on top and the gender is in the bottom, and we can move tenure to from columns to rows as well. Now the data will look like this, or we can move around. So this is the basic essence of pivot table, like where you are basically slicing and dicing the data, as well as like you can looking at different calculations, you can adding filters and so on and so forth. Now coming back to calculations, right? So this is the default calculation is sum. Now in order to change it to like averages, what we need to do is like click on it. Like if we go to that values, and if you click on that particular column that is there, we'll have this value field settings. If we click on it, new window, this new window will pop up, and it will ask us to select like what type of aggregation that we want to do, right? So by default it is sum, but if you want to change it to average, we can click on it and then click OK. Now the data is shown as like the average. And if you want to do some additional formatting, we can just go back and then click on number format. We can just make it like more readable, like make it like no, you can round it to 0 decimal points, and then like we'll have this. So this is very useful. Now looking at this data, like we can tell, right, like the credit score, like the man in like the France have like the best credit score. No, like the woman in Spain has like the highest credit score, right? So this is a very easy and like very helpful way to like look into your data. And in many cases, like it is useful to do some like if you're building any models or anything, like you can do like exploratory data analysis using pivot table itself. So there's one more thing, like if we go back to values, and if we go back to that field setting, we can add an additional layer as well in calculation. So let's say we select counts. Now if you go to counts, for this age range that is already selected, like 18, 19, 20, we have this count, right? We can select all as well. I mean, I forgot to select all when I was doing the average, but anyways, so you can see, right, like this is the all. Now you want to see it like the, instead of the count, you want to see it as a percentage. So percentage, you'll need like some sort of like a numerator denominator kind of stuff. So in that case, if you go to back to the value setting and click on show value as, you can add an additional layer of calculation here as well. In this case, let's say it's a percentage of column total. So it will give you like the percentage here of like, so basically it's the distribution of female and male by geography in this way, like it's calculating by columns. If you want to change it to something else, you can do that as well. Let's say row total, to do it by row. So this is also very useful, like you can add multiple layers of calculation as well, like apart from like the default set of calculations that you have. So that's it for the pivot table. Like you can play around with it. It's a very powerful tool, and it's very powerful as well as very useful as well. So hope you like the video, and if you like it, please like and subscribe, and have a good one. Thank you.